They say a woman's smile can light up a room, but here's the secret most people miss. That light is not the smile itself. It's the soul behind it. And if you don't know how to reach her soul, you'll never touch the deepest part of her heart. Think about it, people spend years trying to impress with gifts, with words, with status. But none of those things ever truly unveil someone's soul, because a soul is not impressed. A soul is revealed. And here's the twist: most men and women, even after 50 years of life, still confuse attraction with connection and love with influence. They wonder why relationships feel shallow, why conversations run in circles, why something is always missing. It's because they've never learned the art of unveiling what's hidden beneath the surface. But let me ask you something. What if the person you love, the person you share your days with, is waiting for you to look beyond their habits, their routines, their moods, and finally see the truth of who they are? You see, when you truly unveil her soul, you don't just create intimacy, you create influence. Not control, influence. The kind of influence that makes someone trust you with their deepest fears and their greatest dreams. The kind of connection that doesn't fade when beauty changes or when time leaves its mark. Here's the real mystery. Every soul has its own hidden language. Some speak in silence, others in subtle gestures, others in words they never dare to say out loud. The question is, can you read it? Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you something that most people never discover in their entire lifetime. And once you understand it, your relationships, whether with your wife, your husband, your partner, even your children, will never be the same. Now let's start where very few are willing to go. The first sign that you're close to unveiling her soul, the first step to unveiling her soul. It's about what you say. It's about how deeply you listen. Most people think listening means staying quiet until it's their turn to speak. But true listening, that's a whole different art. True listening means you're not just hearing her words, you're catching the pauses between them, the hesitations, the shifts in her tone, the story behind what she's too afraid to say. When a woman feels you actually hear her soul, not just her complaints, not just her ideas, not just her day-to-day chatter, something unlocks inside her. It's as if a locked door finally opens, and suddenly you're standing in the most sacred part of her being. But here's the challenge. Most men, and even many women, have spent decades listening only with their ears, not with their presence. They listen to respond. They listen to defend. They listen to prove a point. And in doing so, they miss the invitation to step into a deeper world. Think about it this way. Have you ever told someone something vulnerable, and instead of understanding you, they jumped in with advice or with judgment or with a story about themselves? What did that feel like? Dismissal, disconnection, a reminder that your soul is safer in silence. Now, imagine the opposite. Imagine you share a secret fear and the person simply holds the space. No judgment, no rush to fix you, just presence. Suddenly, you feel safe. You feel seen. That's when the soul begins to unveil itself, not under pressure, but under presence. This is where influence is born, because when someone trusts you with the fragile parts of their soul, they're not just opening up to you, they're giving you access to their truest self. And that level of trust is priceless. But here's the question: how do you become that kind of listener? How do you tune your heart to her frequency? Stay with me, because the answer lies in a subtle shift. Most people overlook the subtle shift is this: stop trying to understand her mind and start trying to feel her soul. That might sound poetic, maybe even confusing at first, but stay with me. Most of us are trained to analyze, to break down what someone says, to look for logic, to find a reason. But souls don't live in logic. They lie in feeling. And if you want to unveil her soul, you must meet her in the space where words are only half the story. It's like music. think about your favorite song. You don't love it because every lyric makes perfect sense. You love it because it makes you feel something. That's the language of the soul. When you tune into the emotions beneath her words, you start hearing the music no one else hears. And here's the part most people miss. Unveiling her soul doesn't happen when you ask the perfect question or deliver the perfect response. It happens when you create safety. Emotional safety is the soil where her truth can grow. Without it, she'll hide behind masks. With it, she'll bloom. This shift moving from analysis to presence, from judgment to safety can completely transform not only your relationships, but also the way people experience you. Because when you become a safe place for someone's soul, you stop being replaceable. You become unforgettable. Now, let's get practical for a second. How do you show emotional safety? It's in the little things. Not interrupting when she's searching for words. Not dismissing her fears as silly. Not rolling your eyes at her emotions. Instead, it's leaning in, softening your tone, holding her gaze just a little longer. It's saying without words, I see you. I'm not going anywhere. When you practice this, something remarkable begins to happen. She starts to test the waters, sharing a little more of her inner world. At first, it might be small things, fragments of her doubts, quiet dreams she rarely speaks aloud. But over time, those fragments turn into stories, confessions, truths she's never trusted anyone else with. And here's the beauty: the more of her soul you see, the more influence you gain, not power over her, but power with her. The kind of bond that weathers storms, transcends appearances, and grows stronger with time. So here's the real test for you. Are you willing to stop listening for information and start listening for transformation? Because in part 4, we're going to explore the next level, the deeper signs that her soul is starting to unveil itself and how to recognize them before they slip away. So how do you know when her soul is beginning to unveil itself? The signs aren't loud. They're not obvious. They don't show up in fireworks or dramatic declarations. Instead, they arrive quietly, almost secretly. And if you're not paying attention, you'll miss them. The first sign is her silence changes. Silence can mean many things: anger, distance, disinterest. But when her soul starts to unveil, silence shifts. It stops feeling heavy and starts feeling safe. You sit together, maybe saying nothing, but the air isn't awkward. It's full. That's a soul whispering, I trust you enough to rest here without words. The second sign is she starts sharing the unpolished parts of herself. Not the version she shows to the world, not the perfectly curated stories, but the raw, messy truth. She'll tell you about her fears of growing older, her regrets, her doubts. And instead of hiding them, she lets you see them. That's the soul saying, here I am. Can you hold this without breaking me? The third sign is her laughter changes. When the soul is closed, laughter can be polite, forced, even guarded. But when the soul opens, laughter becomes unfiltered, childlike, sometimes even uncontrollable. It's the sound of freedom, the sound of someone letting you in past their defenses. On the fourth sign, she begins to dream out loud again. Not small, safe dreams, but the ones she buried long ago, the paintings she wanted to create, the travels she put on hold, the life she imagined before responsibilities and fears weighed her down. When she starts to trust you with those dreams, she's letting you see not only who she is, but who she could still become. Now, here's the key: these signs don't come with labels. She won't announce, my soul is opening now. You have to what? You have to listen. You have to notice. And the moment you notice, honor it. Don't crush it. Don't trample it. Don't turn it into a lecture or advice session. Just honor it by being there, fully present, fully steady. Because when you do, the unveiling deepens. And the deeper it goes, the stronger your bond becomes. This is not surface level attraction. This is not temporary connection. This is the foundation of something that time, distance, and even hardship cannot break. But here's the question most people never ask. Once her soul starts to unveil itself, what do you do with that sacred gift? That's where part 5 comes in. Because in our final section, we'll uncover the truth about how to protect, nurture, and respond to a soul that's entrusted itself to you and what men really say when they're deeply in love. By now, you've learned how to unveil her soul, the listening, the presence, the subtle shifts that create trust and connection. You've seen the hidden signs as she's opening up, revealing the parts of herself few ever get to see. But this is just the beginning. Because understanding a soul isn't only about recognizing her truth, it's also about recognizing his. When a man is deeply in love, his words, his presence, and his actions speak volumes about what's really in his heart. If you want to take your connection to the next level, there's a video that dives into exactly this, what men say when they're deeply in love. In that video, you'll discover the hidden language men use, how their love truly shows up, and what it takes to nurture that kind of deep, lasting bond. So here's my recommendation. Watch that next video right after this one. It will give you the keys to not only unveiling her soul, but also understanding the man she's connected to, creating harmony, trust, and depth in your relationship like never before. And before you go, don't forget, if you found value in this journey, subscribe to Wisdom Recorder and hit the like button for more guidance, insights, and daily motivation to transform your relationships and your life. Remember, unveiling a soul is a rare gift. Honor it, respect it, and keep learning how to connect at the deepest level.